David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Is this just the latest example of how this team has responded since Dak's injury, and in either offense or defense at key parts of the game seem to make plays that kind of help shift the momentum?
Yeah, I think clearly the football team's keeping it in perspective. Clearly understanding this is a big division game. And it's just like every week. There's certain things you focus on as far as how you want to play in specific situations, and I think our players have just done a really good job of staying true to expectations of their particular role. What we're trying to do as far as running the ball. Our run defense. I thought the first half, they obviously had some run. They had run production, and the message at halftime was pick up the run defense, and I thought our defense did a great job of that. So obviously we're keeping the point totals down, 10 points. Offense we were able to hit a couple big plays, and I think we had 3 or 4 penalties, first downs, from shot plays and so forth. But I thought we did a nice job in the first half on third down, but not as well in the second down. So once again, you got the ebb and flow. Focus and really confidence that they have in one another. It's it's definitely building each week, and this is a very good home win for us.
Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Initial assessment of Michael Gallup first game back made an impact with his hands, but also the 2 downfield penalties for the Commanders.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Michael. You better be on your game, particularly vertically. But it was good to get him into the flow of the rest of the offense. So it's great to have him back, and I think it's obvious what he means to us, particularly with our offensive perimeter group.
Mike, tonight again, you fall behind for the only time. Cooper Rush leads a 75-yard touchdown drive. They score to narrow it to 5 in the third quarter. He responds with another and he did that in New York too. Just his play tonight and what he's done responding to the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I think Cooper's presence and his the way he handles the in-game adjustments is really a real positive for us. I think clearly the way the game was called defensively. I thought they did a very good job challenging us with their run defense. They gave us a nickel corner blitz that we hadn't seen much of twice. That was they hit us on that. So the point I'm making is we got hit with some plays, and but I thought he managed the down and distances, didn't overreact to it, didn't try to force the football, and I thought he did a good job trying to stay on time for even when it was the down and distances were lopsided at some points in that game. I mean, you think about the field position, we really didn't get it flipped there until the fourth quarter. We had to put some heat on the punter, and was able to get decent, because we have tremendous respect for him coming into the game. So field position, Cooper just staying the course, defense holding the 10, a lot of good things to build off of today.
Coach Chris Hanks, Fox 4. What do you think of did you see the reaction of Gallup's teammates after his touchdown catch, and what do you think of that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'll tell you, I know I talk about the locker room and just the way these men are connected. One of the things, last night in the team meeting, the highlight tape, and just to see other players celebrate the other side of the ball. It's something that really stood out in our clips last night, and I think you obviously felt that again today. So I think it's just a reflection of the connection that this locker room has.
Coach, Trevon Diggs, in training camp you said that you expected him to make a year 2 jump. A guy with 11 picks, obviously a lot of people are like, well, how do you do that? It looks like he's doing that now. Coverage, PBUs, tackling. Is that what you're seeing, that year 2 jump?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you just think of the 2 big fourth down plays. I mean, those are they're as good as turnovers. So yeah, I thought Trayvon was big today. So yeah, I think he's kind of picked up right where he left off.
Coach Stumeyer from the Horn in Austin. Cooper seems to not only doing well, reading and everything, but distributing the ball. Everybody was getting the ball today. Talk for a second about how much Cooper, looks at the different plays and looks at the different weapons that you guys have on offense.
Yeah, definitely. I think it really starts back with the plan, and he has an excellent understanding of the offense and the scheme, direction each week. And at the end of the day, ball distribution is key. You have to get the ball to your playmakers, your perimeter players. We always talk about, we got to drive, faster than 55. We're looking for 55 touches, whether it's runs or catches, with our perimeter group a game. And really it's either 55, plus or, 75% of your plays, that the ball needs to be distributed. And I think he does an excellent job of that.
Bob Delgiorno from Fox Sports Radio in Texarkana. You created turnovers on defense and you didn't turn it over on offense. If you continue to do that, how important is that going to be the rest of the year if you're going to keep winning?
Well, I mean, it's definitely real important. I mean, that formula's worked in the game of football for decades. It's definitely, most people spend a lot of time on it and emphasize it. We obviously do. So, we take the extra time during the course of the week, particularly on the Thursday practices, and do the team fundamentals. And at the end of the day, like we remind ourselves over and over again, the game is called football. It's about the ball. So it's you got to protect it, and one guy carries it, the other 10 cover it, and then when they have it, we got 9 guys swarming to it and 2 guys containing, and we got to make sure we're getting in position to strip it, and obviously the turnover there in the fourth quarter was a huge play in the game.
You talk about your commitment and sticking with the run game this year. Was today an example, because there are a lot of tough moments with it, but you just have that?
Yeah, definitely. I think you made a good point. I thought Kellen did a nice job just staying the course. It's when you're not winning the down and distance battle with your run game, it definitely takes a discipline. And obviously we got a couple things we got to clean up, and some adjustments that were made that we can learn from. We obviously play these guys again down the road, so. These are things that you definitely got to get ready for next week, in LA. But I thought he did a really nice job just sticking with the run.
Jacob Dedamore from The Ticket in Dallas. What were your thoughts on Connor McGovern's play in his first game back and how he gelled with the group today?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he did a nice job. Didn't watch him, I watched him early just to make sure he was good with his ankle and so forth. And but yeah, it was great to have him back out there. But no, he looked like he was in rhythm and. Had a solid game.
And there were many who wrote the team off after the loss of Dak Prescott in just the fashion in which the Cowboys dropped week 1. How important is it to go 3-1 going into a key game in Los Angeles?
Well, I mean, September football, it's a different type of football. I think that's been evident here, probably the last 10, 11 years, in my opinion. So, there's things you have to try to focus on more this time of year than others, and and most importantly is you got to find ways to win. And I think the fact that we've recognized, committed to it, and the players are doing an excellent job of once again it's all about expectations and just staying persistent of not trying to do too much. So defense keeping the point totals down and has given us a great opportunity to try to go the long way on offense. Not feeling like we have to be wide open and explosive. Obviously, that's what we were last year, and we'll build back towards that. But this is the way we need to play right now, and it's been very effective for us through the month of September.
Stu Myrick again from the Horn. This team today seemed very disciplined. Only had 4 penalties all game. That's something been talked about a lot. Is there something that you guys do in practice to try to keep those to a minimum?
Well, definitely. I mean, it's just, it's why you do the fundamental drills. That's why you spend so much time on the technique. And, we're fortunate where all these drills are videotaped, and you just keep coaching, the extra time. This was a difficult week. We were on a short week. But, just staying after our process, the way we train, the way we work. We've had some penalties. We have young players that are, really, their numbers are a little high, particularly in the discipline and pre-snap area. So, it's part of our evaluation every day. We just got to keep working at it.
Ron Bland had his first interception today. What are your thoughts on how he's been able to come on and earn playing time as kind of a late?
I think you're just seeing what we see every day from Deron. I mean, just what a fine young player, and you could see it in training camp. I mean, he's picked up the system seamlessly. Beyond his years, maturity-wise, he's done an excellent job on special teams, and it was great to see him step up today with his opportunities. So I was very proud of him today.
You've mentioned the defense several times, and I think this is 4 straight games to start the season of 19 points or less, which has been like 49 years since Dallas has done that. Just how difficult is it in today's NFL to keep teams below that number for a month?
I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, we all talk about 17 or less as a goal, but I mean, it's we all know how the rules have changed in the last 10 to 12 years. Particularly with more space and so forth. So I think it's a real credit to our coaches and our players. You can see this really building in the second half of the season last year, and as we stated throughout the OTAs and training camp, this is a group that has a complete understanding of how we want to play. We've got a lot of depth. Really love their competitive spirit, and just like anything, we made some corrections at halftime. They came out and did a great job, particularly with our run defense in the second half. So that tells you something about the group. They have a lot of pride, and once again they want to be coached, and and particularly it's just like anything. Rushing a passer is a privilege. And that's why run defense is so important, and our guys really get that.
One more? Anybody? Nope. Good.
All right, great
Thank you,
to see
Mike.
everybody.